Now, get ready for the hottest podcast coming out of Dallas, Texas.
Sean Fox, and Cowboys Nikki. Stars talking Cowboys. Let's go.
Yo, here we go again, back up on the scene. Stars talking Cowboys, you know what I mean. The podcast repping everything with silver and blue. Keeping it real, that's what they do. Let me tell you about the crew. Sean Fox, spitting facts. K-Boogie's giving game. Nikki's got the stats, so of course she covers everything. It's showtime, so let's get to the biz. And that Stars talking Cowboys, yeah, you know what time it is. Yo, welcome back to another podcast episode of Stars Talking Cowboys. Starring Sean Fox, K-Boogie, and Cowboys Nikki is in the building.
You gonna dig this. Let's go.
Welcome to another edition of Stars Talking Cowboys. Plus one this week. My name is Sean Fox. We got Kevin Dix on the line. How you doing, Kev?
What's going on, everybody? Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you guys doing out there? You know, I ain't a Cowboy fan, but I would chip in anywhere I can. You know, I have four teams I root for every weekend: the Browns or Rams. Anybody play Pittsburgh and Dallas?
Well, that's why I said plus one this week. So, well, once again, I'm Sean. Nikki and K Boogie will be in on just a moment. Obviously, you know, we're going to talk about some Cowboy stuff, but I wanted to start off this week with the situation that happened with that kids coach, youth football that got, you know, the guy that died over a youth football game. Actually, Kevin, I'm gonna let you start off on your thoughts on that.
So I was reading an article today that they said Talib was the instigator of all this situation with this young man being killed. I think that we're going overboard with sports. I don't know if it's because of the coronavirus or what, but ever since we got back to getting next to people, sitting next to people, we've been really aggressive about dealing with people in the public area. I mean, you got people in sports throwing bottles and all kind of craziness going on. And now you got youth football. A young man is dead behind this situation, and there's no laughing matter about this at all. I hate to say this, man, but when it comes to youth football, you're probably gonna have to start having fences around the game so the parents can't come in and act a fool like they're doing, because it's never that serious over a call for somebody to lose their life. And now you have maybe two men that's probably going to end up going to jail for a long time behind shooting somebody. So my thing is this right here. If you have youth football programs, why don't they have some type of security there to check these people going into the games? If they don't, they probably will from this point on, because there's no reason you should have to carry a weapon into a pee-wee football game or even a practice. I think a lot of times we have parents that live through our kids, and when their kids don't do well, they try to blame it on the coaches. You know, and this is a sad situation that we're going through, and it has to be fixed some kind of way. But again, football over football, it's just getting carried away. It's in a situation where somebody needs to step in and regulate how we operate from this point on when it comes to our little league football players, because by them shooting that coach, you don't know how that affects the opposite team, how it affects the team, how it affects the kids growing up as kids now. The other team probably said, we'll never play them again, no matter what, you know, and that puts a bad look on that team, and that team didn't do anything, you know. So, you know, we send out our prayer from in the zone. We send out prayers to the family, for their loss. But again, over football, come on, man, it's not that serious.
So I'm gonna add to that. I referee kids football, and some of the stuff that I hear as a referee on those sidelines, it's amazing. And I'm talking about, we're not talking about high school kids. We're not talking about uh, junior varsity kids. We're not even talking about middleweight. We're talking about 5 and 6 year olds, 7 and 8 year olds, where these parents are actually thinking that these kids are the next NFL star at a young age. And it bothers me, like I said, to hear some of the stuff that's said. And yes, Kevin, it's gotten to the point where some of the tournaments that I've done recently, that we've had to have the police out there. We've literally had to have. I did one about a month ago. I did one in Alabama, and then I did one here in Georgia, and we literally had to have a full blown police staff out there uh, to to coaches were arguing across the field among themselves. Uh, Obviously, they fuss at the refs. Parents getting into it. I almost got a contact off all the weed that was being smoked. It's utterly ridiculous as far as how these parents are acting out there, and the coaches for that matter. And like you said, it's little kids. Those kids, and the thing about it is while these parents are fussing and arguing with each other, while the coaches is fussing and arguing with each other, I'm in the middle of the field talking to the kids. I'm like, "You guys having fun?" And they're kids. Yeah, we're out here having fun, and they go to school with some of these guys. Some of the guys or girls, because there's a couple girls that play too. So they go to school with some of these are their schoolmates, and they're out there to have fun. But these coaches and these parents, yes, football is a competitive game. Yes, we want, you want, there's supposed to be a winner and a loser. But at the end of the day, at the ages of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, those kids should be out there having fun. It shouldn't be as competitive. This competitive spirit that the parents and the coaches display shouldn't be out there. And it doesn't make any sense that we have to have 5 and 6 refs out there for a 5-year-old game.
I'm on the show page. I remember I have little cousins that play, so I go out and video chat. I mean, I video them on my iPad, and I had a parent that was holding the yard marker, right? And so the referee's like, "Look, you can hold the yard marker, but you can't do no talking." So he's telling his son, "You better do this, you better do that, you better do this, you better do that. What is wrong with you? Why can't you play the game the way it's supposed to be played? What are you doing? You're just messing up everything." And so I walked over to the dad. I said, "Look," I said, "I don't know you from a can of paint." I said, "But how you expect your son to concentrate playing football if you're hollering at him every time he does something wrong?" I said, "What you do as a parent," I said, "you film the game, then you take the game home and you analyze it with your child." I said, "Right now, he probably doesn't even want to play football no more. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't want to even practice no more because you're hollering at him." I said, "And what do you think is?" I said, "These are little kids. These are little kids. They're out here having fun. Their their mind's not even thinking about going to the next level. They just learn. They just learn how to play the game of football." And I think a lot of times the parents forget that. And I'm a very big advocate of not having Major League Football at all. I think they should play flag football because of um all the issues that you have with the CTE scans and all that stuff. And Fox, if you think about this, if a kid starts playing football at 5 years old, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, that's 10 years he's playing before you get to high school. Now he plays another 4 years, that's 14 more years. Of 14 years, that's no, I mean 4 more years, so that's 14 years of high school football. Then he goes to college. He plays another 3 years. So he's already played 17 years of football. So he gets to the pros, and this is why they probably only last anywhere from 4 to 6 years, because they've been banging heads since they've been 5 years old. So I think that um we should implement flag football up until they get to ninth grade and let them play football then, and let them enjoy and have fun. Because now today I go to a game, I see a mom out there. She is screaming and hollering. look at my baby, look at my baby, look at my baby do this. He going to the pros. He's 5 years old. He's just playing football because he wants to play football. Because it's something to do. You know what I'm saying? And the parents are not making it fun anymore for the kids. And this is where the problem comes in, because you have parents out there that live through their kids all the time. I remember when my son played, and I moved him around a couple places to play football. And I was looking for a place where they just played on Saturdays because we wanted to go to church on Sunday. So I found a league. He's like, yeah, we play games on Saturdays. He said, but there are some games on Sunday. He said, but your son's going to be on the B team. And so my son was like, well, what's the B team? He said, that's the second string. And my son's like, I don't want to play second string. I want to play a first string. I said, go to the B team, do what the coach say. So they had a game on Saturday. Coach said, hey, your son's playing tomorrow. I said, no, he's not playing tomorrow because that's Sunday. I said, I specifically came out here because you guys played your games on Saturdays. I said, I didn't know there was an A team, B team, C team, whatever, And so my son got a little bit upset with me. And I said to him, I said, I get your point. I said, but I want to instill church in you as well as let you play football. So I said to him, I said, well, I'll tell you what, let's compromise. To the coach, I said, can he play? Can he play in the first half of the game? And then we can leave. He's like, sure. So we would leave about almost 11:30ish, get home about 12ish, and then we would go to church, But again, I'm watch these kids play, and there's one kid on the team, his dad just drop him off and drive off. Kids sitting on top of his helmet playing in the dirt. The dad gets mad because his son's not playing. He said, I paid all this money for you to play, and you're not playing. And I said to him, I said, sir, I said, I noticed that when you come to practice, you just drop your son off. He said, yeah. He said, I go to the bar and get a couple of drinks in. I was like, wow, really? I said, you might want to stick around and watch your son practice. I said, because the reason why he's not playing is I don't think he loves football, And he's like, oh, he loves football. I said, I don't know. I said, but, I tell you what, I said, let's do one better. I said, drop him off one day and just come back and watch him from the car. So he sits in the car, he goes into the game, he messes up, the coach sends him back out, And so his dad comes over there, he's like, he says, sir, I appreciate you, getting my attention on my son not playing. I said, yeah. I said, maybe this is not for him. I said, but then maybe you need to take more time out with him than just dropping him off and then get mad when he don't play on Sundays or Saturdays because you think that because you paid, he's supposed to play. I said, and he doesn't understand the game of football. I said, what's going to end up happening is he's going to go out there, he's going to get hurt, And he's like, I really appreciate you, saying something to me. And so he started taking time with his son, before practice, after practice, going through some things with him. And the kid ended up actually playing the game of football, but I don't think it really was in his heart to play. I think it's more so his father. But there goes a parent right there that's get upset because his son's not playing, but you're not even there to watch him play. And to me, those are the worst. Those are some of the best days and some of the worst days because you're getting off work, you're out in the football field 2.5, 3 hours watching your child because you want to make sure everything's good with your child. You're not going to just leave them there. And then you come home and you get up and do it all over again for like 5 years. I was so happy when my son got to 9th grade. I didn't know what to do, man. I was jumping for joy. I was like, I ain't got to be at practice no more. I ain't got to miss Sunday's games or nothing like that. I was just so happy. When I talk to people today, I say to them, I said, it ain't fun, is it? They're like, no. I said, but that's a sacrifice you make for your child. But again, I said to them all the time, I say to them all the time, I'm not a big fan of it anymore. I really ain't. I just think that, they need to teach the kids how to tackle, teach them how to run, how to block, all of that stuff. And you look at the game now, and you can, you're a referee, so you can tell who knows what, I don't know if you do the peewees all the way up. The ponies, they got the peewees to the midgets. I don't know which one you do, but the peewees, the little 5 years old, they just get the ball and run. They don't even care the tackle. They don't even know how to tackle and done that stuff. And that I'm like, that's part of the game. Teach them how to do that, because you even have people now that's coaching. I asked this one coach. I said, "Look, can I ask you a question?" I said, "Are you more about teaching than winning?" "Oh, I'm all about winning." I'm like, "But you're not teaching them anything. They're not learning anything. You're out there for a week Then you turn around and put the pads on, and you got kids that don't know how to put the shoulder pads on, don't know how to put the knee pads on, but you dress them and you go tell them to go tackle somebody. I said, now somebody gets hurt because you're not teaching them the right technique, your organization is gonna get fined. So all those things plus the crazy parents talking and all that kind of stuff. You know, I'm not surprised that it took this long for this to happen because I see it. I will go watch the games and I'm like, man, these parents right here, oh, they ready to rumble. These parents right here, they ready to rumble. And a lot of times they're younger people, and when they finish rumbling and they break them up, somebody say, "That's your cousin that you just fought," or "That's your brother you just fought," because they don't know each other. So it's not a good thing, man. And as a society, we need to know how to fix this and fix it so that these kids can still have an opportunity if they're going to continually participate in this sport. If you listen to a lot of professional athletes that have kids, no, my kid's not playing. My kid's not playing football. They'll tell you, no, I'm not playing football. So it's one of those things, man.
Well, it's turned into, kids football now has turned into big business. You got team fees, and then when you have all these big tournaments, you got entry fees for the team. Then the parents is traveling, so that's hotel that they got to spend, jerseys, food. Then each day that they come into this is just the tournaments. Each day they come to tournaments, you got to pay an entry fee, and that's each day. And as a referee, I'm not gonna sit there and say I don't benefit from it because I get paid good money, to do these games, and I enjoy it. It keeps me. I want to get back on the football field, so I enjoy it. My biggest thing against, my biggest thing about this kid sports is just how serious that everybody takes it. And like you said earlier, Kevin, I'm surprised that something like this hasn't happened before now. Um, and like I said, I can tell you as a ref, there has been times where I don't want to use the word scared, but I've been concerned about some of the stuff that I've seen, some of the stuff I heard, and some of the stuff that people say to us on the field. There's no respect anymore for coaches, referees, or any officials anymore. People have no respect whatsoever for authority. And I'm glad when I see, the police department there. It's refreshing for me as a referee, not just security. I mean, an actual policeman with his full gear on, walking around, controlling, trying to control the crowd, control the parents. And on the flip side, I understand why some of these, like you said, some of these kids' parents get upset because they're not they went all this way and they haven't, their kid is not playing, they spent all this money and so forth and so on. But that's the risk that you take when you get your kids involved in sports like that. It's only a certain amount of positions, whether it's basketball, football, soccer, lacrosse, tennis, wherever. It's only a certain amount of people that can play at a time. If you got 30 kids on the team, only 11 kids can be on the field at a time. Only 22 is going to be starters, whether it's offense or defense. So for this situation to happen, I was, it just really, really baffled me. Really, really baffled me. Hey, Nikki, how you doing?
Hey y'all, good afternoon, good evening. How are you all?
So your fans have been asking for you, Nikki.
I'm here.
Everyone.
I'm here. I have You didn't get my text?
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Oh
But
yeah,
I'm not
we
gonna,
were
I'm not gonna tell your fans what's going on in your life. I'm not gonna tell your business and all. But
oh
yeah,
yeah, you could yeah. Today made 3 months. Um and my uncle was taken from us. So we went out to his spot and had prayer, said put new flowers and balloons. So, you know. Still trying to adapt to that and adjust to that. Senseless, senseless act of violence once again in Dallas. What happened, at with Akeem Salih's brother. That it's ridiculous. It's horrible that these kids were there. These youth kids were there. All they were trying to do was play football and play a sport that they love, and only to see a shooting happen right before their eyes. Those kids are traumatized. They're gonna be traumatized. Some of them are saying that they were talking about it on the news last night, and they interviewed a couple of the parents and things, and they were saying that their kids they don't even want to play sports no more right now. They don't even want to go to games no anymore right now. They traumatized. You know, um, there's no reason I have a gun at a youth game. There's no reason to get that upset about a game. You have to know in this sports world, you're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some. If you're a good coach, whatever you are, you're supposed to be a motivation for these children. You're supposed to be out here showing these kids a better way to do things than being thugs, being in the streets. You know, um, when I heard who it was, it didn't overly surprise me about it because we all know the things that equated what he did in the NFL at times. When the trouble that he was in the NFL, I mean, he snatched Crabtree necklace right off his neck in the middle of a game. You know, um, but regardless of what, it sports should have no place for violence, especially around youth kids that you are trying to lead them and teach them the right way that they should be going. A lot of parents put their kids in sports because they want to keep them off the streets. They don't want them to get to the wrong crowds. They don't want them to get into the wrong things. But yet you bring them to the field, and that's what they supposed to be doing is guiding and leading them and mentoring them, and you end up and then they end up seeing this type of situation happen. It's unfortunate, it's sad, it's disgusting. Um, right now the murder rate in Dallas is 148, and that's for the month. That's ridiculous. That's horrible. Um, and when I think about the stats on the murder rate right now in Dallas, it still hurts my heart that my uncle is one of those numbers. You know, um, so I don't know. I don't even know the answer anymore. It's like these you don't know what to do anymore. You don't even know what to say anymore because it's constantly happening. It's constantly happening. You know, that was just ridiculous. And my uncle's son was actually on the team, the other team that when my uncle's son was there when the shooting happened.
Wow.
Yeah, my uncle's son was there when the shooting happened, and he even said, and he's good. He's good in football, and he was just like, I'm gonna find something else to do. I don't even want to do it right now. I didn't know it would get this serious because you lost the game. Come on, yeah. It's not that serious.
Kev, you
That,
want to
that's
chime
my
in?
take on it. That's my take on it.
Yo, she said 148 in the month of July, or was it? Is it July, Nikki, or August?
From the end of July to now, we'll be adding August.
A lot of that's man. Again, I'm gonna say I don't know what COVID did to people, but people came out of COVID like they are invincible. Like they definitely don't have no respect for each other. It's really sad the way society is now today. Um, the respect factor for anybody goes out the window. You can't say nothing to nobody. Everybody's feelings get hurt when you say something. You gotta watch everything you say. I don't know where I don't know if society has got us to this point where you can say something to somebody without there being an argument. You know, And I tell people all the time, I said, one thing about sports, for 4 hours, you're in that zone of you're just watching your team play, and that's all you're thinking about. And now after that, after 4 hours go off, now life becomes reality again, and you have to look at it in a different perspective. Is this is just that's the part of sports I love. It takes you away from reality, puts you in a calmer place, and it's like a roller coaster ride. You go up and you go down, you go up and go down, but everybody loves it, you know. But you think when you get this, when you come together sport for some a sporting event, it's supposed to be fun. You're supposed to enjoy. You're supposed to, somebody got to win, somebody got to lose, you know. But that situation, you know, with the coach being killed, that's uncalled for. And again, somebody's going to go to jail for a long time. They're going to make an example out of him. They're really going to make an example. And there's a situation. Nikki had said something and I was going to say something about it, but I lost my train of thought about it though. Oh, I know what it was. But if you in in the NFL, certain players in their contract are not allowed to go back to the community they grew up from because they know the community was bad, you know. And I know, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Ray Lewis was one of those people that had it in his contract that you were not allowed. He wasn't allowed to go down to Baltimore City. He wasn't allowed to go back to the city he came from. Because you think about this, a lot of them guys probably were gang members that was an athlete, and they kind of got away with a lot of stuff. They let them get away with a lot of stuff because they saw the potential that they had. You take for example Allen Iverson. I don't know if he was in a gang or anything, but I know that he had a free passage in Virginia Beach to go wherever he wanted to go because they saw the talent he had. They knew that he could make it to the next level in the NBA. And I remember in 2008, I went down to New Orleans for the All-Star game. He had bought every hotel on Bourbon Street. Every hotel on Bourbon Street was owned somebody that Iverson knew was down there, and he had all these black suburban um, vehicles down there. You know what I'm saying? So he brought a slew of people with him. You know, but that right there, you like me and Nikki were talking before. You can get them out the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out of them. You know, but if you're an educated person that's been to college for at least 3 years, um, the education should play a part somewhere. Somewhere it should play a part. You know, these young athletes we have now. I remember Nikki sent me a post, and every post she sent me was about somebody getting killed, somebody fighting, somebody getting some type of charge. And the sad part about them, all of them were Afro American athletes. You know, we have to be better to do better. And if you want a change, you got to be the ones to change it. They have to be the ones that want to change. You know, you got a lot of players right now is getting generational money. I mean, you look at the contract that Kyler Murray got. Look at the contract that Sean Watson got. Look at those types of contracts. Those guys got money for generations. Um, Bobby Bonilla, he has a contract with the Mets right now. He's been retired almost 10 years. He gets $1 million every year up until 2000 and I think 2030. So he got somebody smart enough to say, "Yo, you can still get paid while you're not playing." You know, but we don't see these guys' names in the newspaper for silly stuff. You know, not silly stuff, but just doing stuff that don't make sense. And you spend all this time to get to a pros, and then you go and you do something like this. And now your career is in jeopardy. You know, and you act like you don't really care about it. You know, or because again, you getting generational money that can set your family up for the rest of their life. Your 2, 3 generations of people that can live off the interest of money that you're making, and you go out and do stuff like this. It doesn't make sense to me. And maybe because I'm older, you know, and maybe because I've spent the majority of my time in the military at ages 18 through 30. That never made I'm not gonna say I never made a bad decision, but I never made a decision where it was life threatening, you know. Um, but the stuff they're doing now is it's incredible, man. And it's gonna be to the point when you go referee a game, you might have to have a flak jacket on underneath that. I know you're gonna be hot, but you're gonna be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I think the biggest thing for me with this situation is that, like you said, everybody has said we just have to do better. Remember, even the pros, it's still a kid's game. They might be getting paid for it, but it's still a kid's game. So speaking of games, um, preseason, you know, uh, for the love of me, I am trying to figure out why everybody is panicking during the preseason. It's called training camp and preseason for a reason. Nikki, go ahead and talk, Nikki.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
No, you got that look. I'm good. I just segmented the way in there for for you to go ahead and talk, and then we'll let Kevin jump in there.
Um, for me, yes, I know that it's preseason, and I know that this is the time that you supposed to figure out who belongs on your team, who doesn't belong on your team. Um, Just the time for you to work out different things with your team. I know that it wasn't. I know for most teams they did not play their, majority of their starters, and I understand it and I get it. I think for me, I think it was just frustrating for me to see that even with the backup team, um, all the penalties we had. I wasn't so much worried about the plays and so much worried because I know that they're not going to show the whole playbook. There's, things are going to be vanilla. They're not going to show you everything, and I get that. But for me, I was more agged about the penalties because I know that it was second guys and third guys, but if you can't coach up a second string team and a third string team, and you can't get your line together in these type of situations, I didn't see nothing positive about it. Um,
But
it looked like
but, but, but
we
let me
stayed in
ask
the
you.
same zone,
Yeah, let me ask you a question though. What string did you say was playing?
second and third,
Okay. So,
second.
and I'm not talking about you in general because I know me and you talked about it. I understand the penalties were horrible, but for everybody who takes preseason serious, it's all it is glorified practice, and for the NFL, it's TV time that they're getting paid for. That's essentially what it is. Everybody look forward to Everybody looks forward to football. So what better way for us to make a little extra? Because this is extra money for the owners. This is extra money for the organizations. That's all it is, extra money. So I just don't understand why. I've seen the big uproar about, oh my God, we suck and this and that and another, and this is not even a team that's going to even start the season. Kevin, you want to jump in on that?
Uh, this is the thing that gets me though, is I've probably watched less preseason than I ever had before because it is preseason. But I get Nikki's point because this is my thing with the Cowboys. I think where the issue lies is that they led the league in penalties last year, but it seemed like it's following them again this year. So McCarthy needs to do something about this. They should be. I think they're allowed to have referees come to practice and um, um, do scrimmages within the team concept, and like it's a real practice. I mean, like it's a real game. So is he not doing this because it seemed like it's just coming forward from last year to this year, and anything about the Dallas Cowboys it's going to be big because it's the Cowboys, you know. And my one friend, he's like, "Yo, we look terrible." I said, "Man, it's preseason." I said, "Them third string guys probably won't even make the team." I said some of them probably go to another team, whatever. I said, but it's never that serious. I said it's just it's preseason, man. I mean, I know everybody wants to see football. We all love football, you know what I'm saying? But it's preseason. And to be perfectly honest with you, I guarantee you there's a lot of coaches that don't like preseason because, like, I'm giving you for example, the Browns, they lost two centers already to preseason. So now they got to come with a third center and probably a fourth center to start the season off with. So you get all these injuries, and then you got to fill those slots back up from somewhere else when it comes to your team. And I think that's one of the biggest issues because you never know where you're going to need players to come from. And I think that's why I think with the USFL and the XFL is going to play a big part going forward with the NFL because you'll get an opportunity to see guys play, and they may not be on the roster. You pick up the phone and say, call this guy that was with Alabama or whoever they were status, whatever. See if we can get him on the line, see if we can get him up here, see if he can play for us. So I think that helps the NFL in the sense that they don't have to go really searching for players. But again, I get Nikki's point because it's just like they when they ended the season and they started the season, they still doing the same thing. So McCarthy, in my personal opinion, if the Cowboys don't win the Super Bowl, he's leaving. He's gone. It's just a matter of time. Um, and he got to win the Super Bowl because if he wins the Super Bowl, then he's not gonna go anywhere. If they get the Super Bowl and lose, I still think he's gone. And I think he already knows the handwriting on the wall. And me and Nikki talked about this before. I was upset when they went out and got him. I didn't think he was the right coach for the Dallas Cowboys in the first place. Just because you did good in Dallas, just because you did good in Green Bay, don't mean you're gonna do good in Dallas. So me, to be perfectly honest with you, I watched this. I recorded like the fourth quarter of the Rams game. I watched that, and I don't even think I've seen the Browns game at all. Nikki posted something about Deshaun Watson was 1 for 7, and they showed him highlights. He looked terrible, but he ain't been on the football field in 2 years. So what you expect from him?
Right.
But preseason is just preseason, and again, I guarantee you, if they could get away with not playing any preseason games, they get to that point. And I think that because they added that 17th game, when it comes to the collective bargaining agreement, I think they're gonna shoot the preseason down to maybe 3 games, or maybe even try to do them 2. Because again, they're and also the NFL are talking about having games. They're talking about having games on Tuesdays now. At the end of November, I think next year. I think it's next year. They're talking about having games having a doubleheader on Monday and having a game on Tuesday, Thursday, and then the weekend. And just think about the situation with the team that plays on Tuesday. They can't play on Sunday, but the team that plays on Thursday just got finished playing on Sunday. So I think the players, if they smart, they'll sit down and negotiate this thing a little bit better than what they did. Because, granted, these guys in the NFL, most of them don't have guaranteed money, but it's going in that direction. It's going in that direction. But I get I get what Nikki says. I agree with her totally. And again, this when I'm ready for Thursday night Rams and Buffalo, and let's get it on at that point. That's when it gets serious. This preseason.
What's up, Boogie?
Yo, what's good? What's going on, y'all? What's going on,
No.
my people? What's up, family? How's everything?
We good. We good. We're just talking about, and I know your thoughts on this, so go ahead and.
Hold the glorified practice, glorified practice, and a moneymaker for the owners. We talking about preseason. That's what we doing right now. Like Allen Iverson, that's what we doing right now. We talking about preseason. Listen, I'm gonna tell you what I think. What I think is what's going on is that there's a big hangover between preseason and the last game that we played. And so a lot of Cowboy fans are looking at this like, damn, they still having all these penalties. And then the press is blowing it up and everybody's getting worried because we didn't improve our team in the offseason. So all this gumbo, you mix it up and it's called frustration. That's what it is. And our fan base has to understand that this is glorified practice. and what's going on right now, you can improve it. Yeah, we led the league in penalties for the last 2 seasons, 266 penalties. I get everything. I understand. And Mike McCarthy needs to put his foot down. Yes. But at the end of the day, this is practice. What happens in practice? You make mistakes in practice because you getting ready for the season to start. Now, the first game of the season, we commit 14, 16, 17 penalties against Tampa Bay. Then we really have a problem. But right now, because it's practice, let's work out the kinks before the season starts. That's why I'm like, listen, everybody just slow down, take a breath for a second. Mike McCarthy sees that there's an issue and he has to correct it. Because if he doesn't, he might not make it until the end of the season. So that's why I look at things a little differently. I'm like, you know what? I get all the penalties. And sometimes these referees, when it comes down to Cowboys anyway, they get flag happy. Some of these penalties, were they really penalties? Let's call it what it is. If another team committed those same plays or same acts of treason, would they be penalties? I've always said this in the last couple of years. Do these referees really like the Cowboys? Because these simple holding penalties is not really holding penalties. Because if you really wanted to, you can call a holding penalty on every play, if that's the case. So that's why I take certain things with a grain of salt, and I don't get overly concerned. But let's fix these issues, and let's move forward.
The only part of what you said I have an issue with is you saying that Mike McCarthy um gonna fix this issue. Um for me, Mike McCarthy was gonna fix this issue and he knew how to fix this issue, it would have been fixed last season. It would have been fixed before the 49ers game, because the playoff game, because we didn't start getting penalties on the play with the playoff game. Penalties started way before the playoff game. Penalties have been going on all season in every game. Multiple penalties. Some same penalties, sometime back to back. And as a head coach, I felt like he did nothing. He did nothing to fix it. He didn't even he didn't even say, you know what? I'll bench you and play this rookie. Because I can understand a rookie getting this penalty over and over again. This is his first time in the game. He don't know the game as fast as you do. But for a player that's been in the league as long as some of these players have been in the league and getting the same penalty over and over again and hurting the team over and over again, and all he did was stood there and did nothing to fix it, I have a problem with that. I have a big problem with that. And we can agree to disagree. Your opinion is your opinion, and as we all do, I respect everyone's opinion. But can't nobody tell me that Mike McCarthy can get this issue fixed until I see it fixed. And so far, he hasn't done it. For me, what are y'all doing in practice? Because that bullshit I seen the other last week was, I don't care that it was second and third streamers. You got to have better control of your team than that. And some of these guys, no, all of them won't make the team. Some of them might move to the practice squad, but these might be players that you got to call upon because injuries happen in the NFL. And the way we run shit and the way we running things, we ain't trying to go out here and get no vets. We're gonna keep on trying to lift up somebody off this practice squad, somebody that's behind and don't know the game as well, to save money. So they ain't gotta go out there and pay no vet no money. So for me, I need to see more. I need to see him actually for once this season being a coach. If he can't do it, I'd rather lose with somebody else than lose with someone who say they can win. If he wouldn't have had Aaron Rodgers, I don't think Mike McCarthy would have a Super Bowl. And I'm gonna keep saying it. He lied. He told number lies. He said he set his ass in the basement and didn't watch and didn't do nothing but watch football for a whole year. He a damn lie. He sat in the basement and ate up everything. He ain't did shit.
We all have the same sentiments about Mike McCarthy. But my thing is, this is preseason, right? This is preseason. And Mike McCarthy knows that if he does not fix this issue, he's gone. He has no other choice but to try to fix these issues. And he has referees at practice. There's referees at almost every practice. So whatever's going on with these referees, maybe it's subjective. Don't forget, holding penalties are subjective, right? So you have the offensive side of the ball committing some penalties, then the defensive side committing penalties. But it's also subjective to which referees are calling the game. We understand that too. So I'm just saying, listen, if Mike doesn't fix these penalty issues, we're gonna have a long season, and everybody knows that. But I'm not gonna sit up here and think that basically, hey, it's preseason game. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pull out my hair or whatever. But no, I'm like, listen, let's just take a breath for a second, just relax. The season starts in September. Like I said, in September, if we do this, then it's a problem. Right now, there's some kinks. Let's fix them. That's all I'm saying. Let's fix him right now. Because if Mike McCarthy does not fix him, he's not going to have a job. So all that analytic nonsense, he won't have a job.
So I'm going to ask a question. If Bill Belichick was coaching the Cowboys, will we have all these penalties?
Shit, you know what the answer is to that. You already know. No. But he's the best head coach in NFL history, though. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little different.
Go ahead, Kev.
I'm gonna say this: Bill Belichick holds his players accountable. And his best thing is do your job. And I think with McCarthy, because the way he got the job, he felt like he was going to let his offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator control everything. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't he take over play calling at one point in time during the season last year or something like that? I can't remember if he did.
No.
Okay. No. So Clem, the quarterback, right, is the offensive coordinator. What's his name?
Kellen Moore.
Okay. So I think that he hasn't really felt the pressure because my whole question, and me and Nikki had talked about this before, we felt like he should have been gone last year. And I'm just trying to figure out what did he say to Jerry to keep him around? Because me personally, I think what's going on with the Cowboys is that Jerry's son is I think he's making a lot more decisions than people know. And I don't think that was his choice of a coach. That was something where his dad said, we're hiring him regardless of the fact. No matter what you say, but now that is going south, I think his son probably will make a decision going forward, who the next coach will be. But I just think because he got it so easy, we can even say that they didn't even go by the Rooney Rule when they hired him, because I can't remember if there's any other coaches that interviewed for the job. So I think he came in there thinking that, I'm cool, I got this, it's gonna be okay, we're gonna do this, and it's not panning out to where he wanted it to be.
I think the game is passed him by, to be honest with you. Aaron Rodgers said the same thing. The game is passed Big Mike by. So Jerry Jones probably looked at it, he's a Super Bowl winning coach, and he has this accolades and that accolades, rather than just going through the whole process. So he lied about the analytics, being in the basement, being on ESPN and whatever else. Come on, we all know that the analytics is not the best test. The best test is the eye test. At the end of the day, the best test is the eye test. So whatever wool he pulled over Jerry's eyes when that little sleepover they had, hey, it seemed to work then, but it's not working now. It's not working with us.
And I think we talked about it last week that these young coaches is coming in and they're blowing the NFL up. I do I want to, would I take a veteran coach on the staff? Yes, but these younger coaches are so innovative now. We can't keep running this same. And Kevin, this is why we can't be on the network. We can't keep running the same shit that we've been running. We just can't. I'm tired of the same shit every week. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of seeing 10 plays and then we got 3 variations. You got 3 different formations, but you're still running the same fucking 10 plays. I'm tired of that.
That's Golden Boy. That's Golden Boy Kellen Moore for you. That's the Golden Boy. You know what I'm saying?
And look, here we got this Eagle fan here. Listen to what he's saying. He loves it. Of course you would.
But see, the thing is, we telling the truth though. We transparent. We're not holding anything back, and we don't drink Jerry Jones's Kool-Aid. So that Eagle fan, you can say what you want, but we are real on this show. We're not gonna sit here and sugarcoat anything. That's what we
That's
don't do.
Nick. I see you bobbing your head over there. You on
I'm
mute?
letting I'm letting K Boogie talk. I'm letting him get it out.
Now she in
I'm
rare
just
form, boy.
listening.
She about to go in.
No.
Listen, hey, listen. I just think this is gonna be a process this off season. Things are gonna happen in spurts. This is gonna be a process. That's all. That's the way I'm taking it, like a
Oh my
process.
God.
What
Don't
happened?
say that. Don't take it like a process. You know how long we heard that shit? It's a process.
Listen, but listen, that's Big Red talking. I'm not Big Red though, but I'm just looking at it like, this is a process. This is the way you have to look at it. From being upset all the time. I'm not getting mad no more. I said that happened 5, 6, 7 years ago. I'm not doing it. I'm just looking at things
Now,
just
how long
like
we gonna be in the process?
So
I have
pretty
no damn
yeah.
clue. I
So
have
pretty
no damn
much, K
clue.
Boogie, you're saying that the abnorm has become the norm for us, then, right?
It's a
And I'm
process.
tired of it. And I'm tired of it. That's why
Okay.
you gotta sit down and analyze what the hell are we really trying to do here? What are we doing? What is Jerry Jones doing? What Listen, you get rid of Mari Cooper. Why? Why? Because he wasn't vaccinated. You get rid of Collins. Why? Because Collins tried to bribe an agent or a lawyer. What are you doing? It's like, listen, why don't you just sit back and talk to him before you let him go? Still right now is a weak link right now, and we don't have another weapon to go with Lamb right now. So what is Jerry Jones doing at the end of the day? And then you got Mike McCarthy leading the pack. We had 266 penalties for the last 2 years. No matter who's on the field, on defense, offense, we still have all these penalties. What are you doing, Jerry? So that's why we don't drink the Kool-Aid. We tell the truth. There's no need to sit here and sugarcoat it. Well, it's going to get better. No, it's a process. When you don't want to say anything that's negative, you say, well, let's see how the process is going to work. And that's it.
But we was in a process for 10 years with Gary.
Hey, listen, that was his meaning. The process and the clapping on. To be honest with you, I wish he was still here. To be
Girl,
honest with you,
I posted that the other day. But then I went and look at some games and I was like, oh, my page was hacked. I was just playing.
man, I saw that too. And I started
I
laughing when you
did
did
too.
that. I was laughing too. But think about it. The players played for Jason. I don't think they're gonna play for Mike as hard as they play for Jason. Let's call it what it is. I don't think so. I don't think so. So let's see what happens. That's why it's a process to me.
I
It's a
mean,
process.
we had 17, how many penalties in the game with Mike McCarthy? When we played the 49ers, how many penalties was it?
14. 14.
It
14.
was 14. Okay. And then the last playoff game that we had with Garrett before he left, we had 13. So that's then when I seen that and look at a couple of other, I was like, oh, I was just playing. My page was hacked. I don't miss Garrett. But I don't know. In all, something has to be done. And it has to be done quick, and it has to be taken more. It has to be more into it than what we're getting from it. It's kind of like, when is it gonna be time for the fans to have a good time? When is it gonna be time for the fans to be happy? Because right now the only person happy is Jerry and Steven, because they pockets are filled no matter what, because Cowboy fans are loyal fans. We're gonna go to games. We're gonna show up. We can talk all day long that we're not gonna buy this. We're not gonna buy that. I'm not buying this. I'm not buying that. But the minute we go to the store and we see something, say Cowboys, and we don't have it, we're gonna get it. That's one of our biggest problems as fans. But I'm not the fan. So I tell people all the time, don't follow me, because I'm not the fan that's not gonna buy. I'm not the fan that's not gonna go to the game. I'm not gonna never say I'm not gonna go to a game. I'm not gonna never say I'm not gonna buy. I mean, Kevin noticed even when we were going through the COVID thing, and one of the things Kev asked me on his show. So Nikki, let me ask you a question. If Jerry and them have fans in the stand, even though it's COVID, are you going to the game? I say, damn right. I'm mask up. I'm going to the game. You know. So it's just that I think we all have the same passion. We all have the same goal. But are they all on the same goal that the fans are on? Do they have the same goal we have? And that's what that's my question. I'm questioning it because I don't think they have the same goal that the fans have. They talk a good talk. They say they do, but they show us nothing. They show us the same thing every year, every year, every year, every year, every year.
But
Nikki,
And
at the,
I would say I'm
we
gonna
I'm,
are
take.
the new
go
Raiders.
ahead,
We're the new Raiders. Al
all
Davis
right,
gone, Raiders winning.
Colin. All right, Colin.
Yeah, and I'm gonna take Nikki. I'm gonna take your statement to the next level. Some You got some Cowboy fans who are obsessed with the past. You got some Cowboy fans who are obsessed with the popularity of the team, and then you have those who are real. But at the end of the day, the NFL, Jerry Jones, and the TV networks, all they see the Cowboys is money. That's all they see is us as money. Why are we, no matter what our record is, why do we always open the season on prime time TV? Because they know it's going to be one of the highest rated games of the season. We just a couple years ago when Dak got hurt, we was what, 3 and whatever we was, 4 and
Garbage.
something. But that very next season, we still had 5 primetime games, and every Sunday we were on at 4:15 because it's all about the money. It's not about the ring right now. It's about the money.
Hmm.
And until Jerry or whoever's in control of the Cowboys can see that, okay, we got the money, we got the money. Now let's get a ring. We're gonna be in the same predicament year after year after year. But I'm like you, Nikki. Is that gonna stop me from buying this jersey and buying this hat? No, because that's just I'm just that type of fan. I'm trying to go to about 4 games this year because I ain't go to none last year and the year before that. I'm a diehard Cowboy fan, but I'm also a Cowboy fan who is going, like you said earlier, K Boogie. I'm gonna speak the truth. I'm not gonna sit up there. I'm not one of those Cowboy fans. Oh, but we got 5 rings. Oh, we the richest franchise in the world. Oh, we had the biggest stadium in the NFL. We got the prettiest jerseys. That's not Sean Fox.
Exactly.
But I am a diehard Cowboy fan. Kev,
Hey,
I'm about to say, Kev, you been a little quiet up
Yeah,
there.
a little quiet up there. And Cowboys is a team that people love to hate. And I'm gonna tell you something. As a kid growing up, being a Rams fan and being a Browns fan, Cowboys kept the Rams out of so many Super Bowls. So I hated them. And that's why I hate Pittsburgh. I hated them as a fan. But Dallas was always on. When I was growing up a kid, you seen the Jets, the Browns, the Steelers, the Dolphins, the Cowboys, the Rams, and Minnesota. Those teams were on every Sunday, no matter what. So on the East Coast at 4 o'clock, you definitely saw the Cowboys, and you might have had a late game where it probably was the Rams. So the Cowboys was a team that everybody loved to hate because everybody was
hmm
a Cowboy fan. And I tell people, if it wasn't for my father being the sports person he was, the teams that he follows, I said I probably would have been a Cowboy fan too because they was on so much. You every Sunday they was on TV, so you know you love you just get tired of seeing them. Like I mean, they're on Christmas Day, I mean on Thanksgiving Day. There's so many people that say, why can't we find two different teams other than Detroit and the Cowboys to play on Thanksgiving Day? But again, Dallas is that team that everybody loves to hate. So if they're on national television, they lose, everybody's loving it. You know what I'm saying? But when they win, everybody's quiet. You know. And again, I think with the situation with the league right now, um, and actually not knowing who is going to go to Super Bowl this year from the East, I mean from the AFC or the NFC, it kind of make it maybe a little bit better or a little bit funner. I think in a sense for most fans because you really, they picking Buffalo out of the AFC, and they're saying the Rams, but if there's an issue with my man's arm, that might be a problem for the Rams. But again, if you look at you guys' division, I think the Eagles gonna give you guys a run for the money. I think that they improved a lot. I'm mad because then they're not giving Jalen Hurts the respect that he deserves. I mean, he took a team and made the playoff last year that wasn't even supposed to be in the runnings. So again, I look at it both ways, and I've come to respect the Dallas Cowboys because of Nikki. I really have. And I don't really go hard on her about it because she speaks the truth about them, And again, going back to the McCarthy thing, I can't remember the last time the Cowboys had a defensive coordinator as a head coach. And maybe that might be where they need to change. I'm just putting it out here. Brian Flores would not be a bad coach for that team. He would not be a bad guy because he has something to prove, you know what I'm saying? And he's a defensive coordinator. But
except for one thing.
Yeah, we talk about it every week.
But see, if he wants to be transparent, then he got to go there. You know what I'm saying? But again, if you look at Sean McVay's tree right now, every coach that he's had there have gone somewhere and started winning. You got the guy in San Diego in Chargers, you got the guy in Cincinnati, and he's lost somebody else again. And so these guys are winning games. So again, you look at his tree and you're like, wow, they're getting guys with a tree. But again, when do you break that? And if you really want to win, are you going to bring the right person to the team that's going to motivate these guys? And I think when you start having guys speak up about it, the players speak up about it, not general managers, not the media, then you'll see a change. I think the NFL needs to take the lead like the NBA and say, look, we don't have enough black coaches in the NBA. We need to get some black coaches, and you've seen the abundance of black coaches that came through the ropes now in the NBA. They always tell us that we can't. They tell us you can't do the job, but you never give us an opportunity to do the job. Give us opportunity to do the job, and we're gonna prove to you that we can do it. And we've did it over and over and over from day one when they told us that we couldn't play football. We're the best at that. We couldn't play basketball. We're the best at that. Baseball, we're still struggling with that because it's a mind thing with baseball. But you look at the Olympics, you know what I'm saying? We couldn't do that. Tuskegee Airmen couldn't fly a plane, learn how to fly a plane. I mean, we did so many things. Give us an opportunity. Give us an opportunity. And if you mess it up, then so be it. I mean, you look at Tomlin, he'd been in Pittsburgh a little while, and I think his range is coming to an end. I think if they don't make the playoff this year, he might just step down and go in another direction. But again, give them opportunity. And I guarantee you they won't fail because we're not used to failing. You may fail us because you don't want us to succeed, and we're gonna see through that, But give us opportunity. I mean, it was great seeing two black coaches in the Super Bowl. I didn't care who won. I just knew a black coach was gonna win. So I'm just saying that if that's the issue for Jerry and the organization, they need to get over it because they're passing a lot of good, talented guys away when they do that. Like, for example, you have the guy that he's an analyst. Me and Nikki talked about him before. He had went up for the job for the GM for the Texans. And they passed him by twice. Yeah. And I'm like, the guy knows football. They did a headhunting search and they came back twice for the same guy. I can't think of his name right now. But he's an analyst. And I'm like, yo, and I think that was the beginning of Deshaun Watson's wanted to leave Houston because he's supposed to have a part of all of that, in the decision making of who's going to be the GM, who's going to be the head coach, and things like that. So I think if Dallas does that a little bit, I think that helps them a little bit because you have somebody there that people are going to say he's the wrong coach. he's going to fail, and he's not going to make sure he's not going to fail. He's not going to be the reason why this team is losing. This team why this team has not been to the Super Bowl. I'm just saying, give the guy a chance.
No, we talked about that a couple of weeks ago. We talk about that a lot, actually, about basically the Cowboys hiring a black head coach, but I don't think Jerry Jones is progressive enough to do so. I think he's more worried about dollars and cents and his fan base. That's why he won't. I don't think he will do it. I don't think he will. He should, but he won't. Because Mike McCarthy, to be honest with you, I wasn't too thrilled when they hired Mike McCarthy. I wasn't. Who was? But I don't think Jerry Jones is progressive enough to hire a black head coach. And we talked about that too.
Well, Nikki, you live in Texas, so you could probably have the best assessment of that statement than any of us.
No, I mean we talked about it more than once, to be exact.
Yeah.
I think if it was gonna happen, it would have been and happened by now. It's been a lot of good black coaches out there that's been available to do the thing to come in and perhaps get us across the bridge where we trying to get. But Jerry, he will hire them as an assistant. He will hire them to be second to the head coach. But it would have I don't Jerry would probably have to be on his bed to say yeah, and nobody have comments and know that he's in dementia when he said it.
Hmm.
For it to happen, I just don't see it happening. I mean, we can look around and we can. I think it was what year. Was it Garrett's last year or maybe Garrett's year before last when half of the coaches on the team was all black? But just wasn't going to take that opportunity to give one of them a head coaching job, a black head coach. I don't see it happening. I could be wrong, because Jerry do things and he will shock you. I mean, he party with you. He don't have a problem partying with you or whatever down Bourbon Street or anywhere else. But to actually have a black head coach stand on the sideline and coach this team, I don't see it happening. Not long as Jerry is in control. I don't see it. And the thing about it with me, a lot of fans they all keep hollering and pressing for Jerry to turn it over to Steven when Steven is already basically doing it. It's just kind of not as so out there yet. But Steven is worse than Jerry. And that's what a lot of fans don't get. He is worse than Jerry.
Hmm.
He the one controlling the money. He the one that's not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do that. He the one that's not signing and bringing players in like we should. When Jerry was running it like he was running, Jerry was opening up his checkbook. That's why we had so many bad contracts. That's why players was playing for other teams and Cowboys was still paying them. They were still on our payroll. You know. So Steven not doing it. He's just not gonna do it. Steven will go to the high school and get a player before he go and get one of these vets.
Hey, I told you JJ is the football version of George Steinbrenner. I told you that. He actually was his mentor and model. The Cowboys, if you look at the Cowboys and Yankees, is almost parallel. It's almost parallel. It's the same thing. So I don't know what we're gonna do.
We got
That's
a
why
little,
I'm just gonna sit around
yeah,
and pray.
we got a little trash talking going on between
Hey, that
Byron
he
and
could.
Jeff.
Yeah, I see it. But let's call it 100 though. Jalen Hurts went to Alabama. Everybody knows I'm a Bama fan. But Jalen Hurts was also 1-6 against 500 or better teams last year. So all this Eagle hoopla, I get it. I understand they improved their team on paper. But when we get on that field, bro, all that talk stops. All that talk stops. Let's go. Let's see what Jalen Hurts is going to do. Let's see what the defense is going to do. Let's see what the offensive line is going to do. When they got to smash somebody in the mouth and get smashed right back. Let's see. Let's see all that Eagle. I live in Jersey, so I understand what's going on. I'm from the East Coast. I understand that. But Eagles, they talking a lot. They talking a lot. The press is saying, hey, they're gonna win the division. The Cowboys gonna make it to the playoffs as a wild card. I said, okay, you know what? Y'all talking a lot of trash right now. On paper, you can be a champion on paper because we watched this movie before, haven't we, folks? We watched the super team crap already. So let's see what happens when we play them. And I wanted to play in the first game of the season. I swear, I'm telling you, I wanted to play the Eagles. Y'all know I wanted to play the Eagles. But all this going back and forth, let's just settle it on the field. I don't want to talk no more about it. Let's settle it on the field. That's how confident I am about my squad.
He
That's what.
said, put that back up. Jalen hasn't had the same OC 2 years in a row. That's where this year is different. Mm. So it
They say
amazes me how everybody else can have excuses for their quarterback slash running back. Um, how they can have excuses for their quarterback and play and what they didn't have on their team, whatever. But Dak is the only one that cannot have the excuses that all the other teams have as a quarterback and with his team. I don't care that Jalen haven't had the same OC in the past 2 years. Jalen is who he is, and I don't see an OC making it different. He is he is what he is. Is he a threat in the run game? Yes, he is. But as a quarterback, and if they trying to make him be the quarterback that they brought him in to be, he's not a threat. He said he just not, and that's just my opinion. Um, we'll see. I'm with K Boogie on this. Like I say all the time, games are played on the field, not on paper. Games are played on the field, and not by some of the other players that played for the Eagles and portray themselves as diehard Eagle fans when they didn't even want to stay on. They didn't even want to be on the team either. They was just there to get a check. So I'm not gonna call it. I can't say what's gonna happen because we don't know what can happen. We don't know how it's gonna pan out. But I do know that it's gonna be a good game. And of all teams, Eagle fans just probably need to shut up because every time they come out the mouth, out the rip, run their mouths, Dallas smash them in the mouth off top. The coach walking around with a shirt beat Dallas.
so. Here's my take on it. You know, I love the from a fan standpoint. I'm not gonna say from a football standpoint. I love the rivalry between the Cowboys fans and the Eagles fans. I love that. Even though the Eagles aren't our natural rivalry, um, they've shown more gumph than the Giants and the no name team has. Whatever they call it.
The
Commanders.
Deadskins. The
Yeah.
Deadskins. The Deadskins.
So so I actually love it. And when I see me living here in Atlanta, and I walk around with my Cowboys gear on, I don't care about the Falcons fans. They don't say nothing. They say they little stuff, but they walk away and they'll tell me they used to be a Cowboys fan. And I see the Saints fans, and they say they used to watch the Cowboys when they was young, and so forth and so on. But whenever I see an Eagles fan, they always got to make sure that they show me that they're an Eagles fan, no matter where I'm at. And I'm here in Atlanta, so I love the rivalry of the fans. As far as the two teams, there's no rivalry. It really isn't. Because the NFC is just that. The NFC. These four teams have been together, I think, the longest of all the divisions, if I'm correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
these four teams have been together the longest. So it's I think that we're a rival. We are the other three teams are all our equal rivalries.
Mm.
You know, but as far as the football on the field is concerned, but the fans, I love debating with Eagle fans, no name fans, and the Giants fans. They haven't even been around lately. I haven't seen a Giants fan in I don't know how long.
Lucky you. I see him every time I go to the barbershop here in Jersey. They yapping already too. Oh my God, they yap. Everybody yapping. Everybody's yapping. So it is what it is. I like it, but if you're gonna come at me with some facts. Don't come at me because we just won the recent Super Bowl. Where the Cowboys been? No, come at me with some real facts. Why are you really better than the Cowboys on paper? Because we beat you twice and we were 3 games better than you. So you had to improve your squad. Let's call it what it is. You had to improve your squad. So why are you actually better than the Cowboys? Tell me. I'll sit down and listen to you. I'll talk facts with you. Tell me why you better. Not because, oh, we signed this person. No, tell me schematically why you better than the Cowboys. I haven't heard it yet.
Well, let's talk about some positive things from the preseason game.
I'll be back.
Oh, damn. Come on, Nick. Where you going?
I'll tell you what I saw that I liked out of the preseason game. I liked the play of the D line. I thought that they were aggressive. I thought that they played with a little fire. Um, and they had a decent little rotation going in there. So yeah, Jeff. Now Jeff
Let's
used to
go.
be he used to be he hosted with me and Nikki when we first started. That's when we was on the network with Kevin there. I don't know if you remember Jeff Kevin, but he was so we'll definitely bring you on in the next week or so, Jeff. We definitely
Yeah,
will.
let's talk about it. Let's talk about the Eagles. Let's talk about it.
Uh,
Huh.
but I saw that like Nikki said earlier, the plays that were called they were very vanilla plays, but I actually saw where we might, if our DBs do what they're supposed to do, we should be a better defense this year. And that's that. Now that's just my opinion.
Nah, you're right. I mean, the highlights that I did watch, the defensive line played really good. They played good. And hey, it's preseason, man. That's why, listen, I just want our defense to be a top five defense in the league. That's what I want. I want Parsons to ball out. I want our cornerbacks to uplift themselves. I won't mention any names right now because I don't feel like, getting cursed out. And I just want our defense to be a top five defense in the league because our defense might have to carry the offense until Michael Gallup comes back. So and that's what I would love for us to do, or be a top five defense and carry the offense until we're ready to be explosive again. That's what I want. That's what I wish. So that's why when I look at preseason or whatever, I look at certain things. I'm like, yo, so how's this player gonna fit with this particular scheme versus this team? And that's the way I look at certain things. Yep, Joseph played bad, but I expect him to play better.
So Nikki, you saw no good in the preseason game.
Um, yeah,
I'm being
did.
fun. I'm being
No, no,
funny
no.
too.
But I honestly said, I did say when I gave my rant, I did say that the only thing that I seen that stood out to me was the run. I see we did get, but stopping the run was really good. It was good to see Gallimore out there. He plugged those holes. He was balling. I say that. For me, my concern right now is still that secondary on defense. The D line is fine, but my concern is still is still that secondary. Um, and for me, that Nashawn Wright, I think he's still not where he needs to be. Um, Joseph, um, he had a bad game, and it seems like he's been having bad training camp, and it carried over to the game. At this point, I don't know. Like, I don't know what else, what is it that you're not grasping? What is it that you're not doing? If you can't come in here and you can't take Anthony Brown's spot, that's a problem. That's a
But
problem.
but Nikki, don't
And,
forget he had that situation hanging over his
man,
head.
listen. If
Remember
if,
that.
if you're gonna continue to, man, that situation been over with. That situation was over with before you went to camp. So at the end of the day, if you're gonna continue to play like that, and you still whatever, if for me, if that's what it is, you need to letting Jerry know you need some space, you need some time, you need a little time to continue to get right, because what I'm seeing and what I'm displaying from a second round draft pick, your second round draft pick supposed to be able to play within the next year or so. Period. I ain't
Second
cutting
round,
no corner.
yeah.
I ain't cutting no corners on it. And I felt at the beginning when Jerry and them got him, I liked him because I followed him in college. But at the end of the day, I also said that we reached on that because I felt like we could have got him in the third or the fourth. But they grabbed him because one, he was the type of player and body style that Dan Quinn likes in his corners. And I'm not saying I'm not rooting for him. I'm still rooting for him. I still want to see him out there playing and take Anthony Brown's job. But right now, it's looking real bad. It's almost to the point to where you made me feel like shit. You should have just went on and played guilty to the damn charges.
But Nikki, it was just one game. It was one game. Listen,
See, yeah, that's the thing. Y'all keep saying it's just one game,
but Nikki,
and I
it
understand that
is.
it is, and I understand that it's just preseason. But at the point of the matter is, the same shit is carrying over from one game to the second game to the third game. Before you know it, it's gonna be time to be on the field with Tom Brady and them. So what's gonna be the excuse then when they getting their ass burnt out there on the field again? What's gonna be the excuse? Point is, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the same shit. I'm tired of the same thing. Somebody got to make a change somewhere, somehow. Who it's gonna be? I don't know. God damn it, if nobody can, but then you know what? Forfeit all the goddamn games this season and stay at home. Because I'm tired of spending my goddamn money and sitting in the stands and yelling and screaming and hoarse on Mondays, and y'all asses is doing the same thing over and over and over again. Okay, I'm back on mute.
Nick, I understand. That's why I call it the process. That's why I call it the process. That was one
Uh,
game. That's one
uh,
game. We got another game
uh,
coming up this weekend at 10 o'clock against the Chargers. This is a process. That's why I look at things as a whole, as a whole, because there's parts to everything, right? Let's see what happens in the next couple of games before we make any conclusions. I'm telling you, he can play ball. When you go through something like the way he went through certain things, it will affect you. The only thing that's going to cure it is over time. We just have to give him some more time. The kid is very talented. You don't give up on a kid that runs a 40 and 4.3 like that.
How much more
You
goddamn
don't.
time do we have?
But this is just his second year. So you're going to give up on him? It's his second year, though. Second year, Nikki. I don't care if he was drafted in the second round or not.
Stay out of trouble.
You
Stay out of trouble.
listen.
Focus.
But listen, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He was with his friends. He didn't know they had a gun on him. He didn't know that. I've been in that situation, Nikki. I'm telling you, going to a club, just trying to have fun. You understand, and then you find out one of your cats that you with got a strap, and you're like, "Whoa, yo, my man, what's going on?" And I'm a corporate dude, and this kid got a strap. So it's like, "Yo, dude, what are you doing?" So sometimes you could just be in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's it. I'm pulling for the kid. I'm pulling for the kid and pulling for everybody that was in that situation, praying for the families that have been involved. But I'm not ready to just throw him out with the trash just yet because of one game. Because of one game. Dan Quinn knows what he needs to do. And I have faith. I have more faith in Dan Quinn than I do in Mike McCarthy as a coach. I'm just saying let the process play out before we judge this man. Just take a deep breath. We're gonna be all right.
yeah.
We're gonna be all
Listen,
right.
this is what I said, and I'm gonna say it again. I am a Kevin Joseph fan. I was cool the fact that we got him. I have followed this kid from college. He started off at LSU, then he ended up in Kentucky. I followed him. I like Kelvin Joseph. I rooted for him. I root for him every time he hits the field. My feelings for him is that I want him to unseat Anthony Brown. I need him to unseat Anthony Brown at this point. But I understand what you're saying. But at the end of the day, I can want it for him. You can want it for him. We all can want it for him. Do he want it? What I seen, even though I understand that this is just the first preseason game, and I understand that things were vanilla, play calling, all this, and I get that, and I'm not knocking none of that, and I'm glad that he beat the charge, he got out of it. However, but at the end of the day, you are a professional. You are in the big game. You are in the big league. Somewhere, somehow, something is not connecting. I don't know where is that. I don't know what it is. But somewhere, somehow, something is not connecting with him. So I don't know if Al needs to take him off by himself and work with him alone and do some things with him alone. I don't know. The only thing I'm saying is for Anthony Brown to still be the starting cornerback at this point, and we have Kevin Joseph, Nashawn Wright, I have a problem with that. Period. I have a problem with it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not.
Yo, that comment funny. I know you got a problem, Anthony. Just let the process play out, Nikki. Just let the process play
That's what
out.
I'm saying.
I know
I
you.
mean,
We
but
don't listen.
I'm rooting
Anthony
for
Brown.
Kelvin.
Listen, Anthony Brown is better for in the slot. We know that. We
I'm
know
about to
that.
pull a Molly on y'all.
Yeah, right. But it's all right, Nikki. It's all right. We got
No.
time. We got like 4 or 5 weeks before the season starts. It's gonna be okay. I promise. I promise. It's gonna be okay.
So let me before I bring Kevin into this. Uh, Now you see why Kevin we couldn't stay on your network. All right, go ahead, Kevin.
Okay, Kevin. Yeah, I think what K Boogie said was, I think in preseason, to me, the biggest thing I'm looking for is my defense to gel, because you have to think on your feet. You have to respond. You think you know the play, and you really don't know the play. So you have to respond to whatever formation they get into and whatever play they run. So if my defense is on par come week one, then I think we're gonna be okay, because the offense takes a while to gel. You know, by the fourth week, by the fourth game, they should be ready to grow. And if your defense can hold teams close and you can win close games right there, you'll be fine. Um, and I think that's what I like to see preseason. I like to watch the defense more. I like to watch the offense, because the defense doesn't know what's coming at them. They may think they know, but they don't know. Like when Kyler Murray said he don't watch no film, I was tripping off that right. I was like, yo, no, he didn't say that. No, they didn't make this man sit down and watch some film. So I don't understand that. Seriously, what y'all feeling about Antonio? Hell to the no.
Hell to the nah.
Hell to the no.
Hell to the nah. Hell to the nah.
I'm not even a Cowboy fan. I'm saying no to that one. Yo, stay far away from him. I'm telling you right now, stay far away from that guy.
He played with Tom Brady, a friend of his, and he left the field. I watched that game on TV. Took all his clothes off, and then the next day he was in Brooklyn watching the. No, we don't need that type of energy. No. I'd rather have Odell Beckham. Nope.
Do your dance, AB. Do your dance.
Nah, do your dance, all right. and now he's a rapper too. Nah, we don't need that energy like that. Nah, we don't need that. That's bad. He bad for business. He bad for business. Not
All
AB.
right. So he said we need someone to take the pressure off of Lamb. Then
Yes,
who?
right. He's right.
And I think that everybody on this panel and every Cowboys fan in the world knows that we need another veteran wide receiver. I think that's a no brainer. And we have the cap money for it. We got
Oof.
almost $21 million that we can give somebody 8, 9, $10 million and with some incentives on it. Like we had the Rams. What they give Odell last year? 2 or 3 million, and then gave him some incentives. You know, I don't know. I'm not a GM, and I'm not Steven and Jerry and whoever else is calling the shots up there. But it's not common sense that we need another receiver. Maybe they think that we have the next coming of what was a kid in Pittsburgh last year, number 11, that showed out after his first year. I can't think of his name.
You talking about the kid that went to Notre Dame?
Yeah.
That's the kid you talking about?
Yeah. Maybe they think that we got the next coming of him on our roster. I don't know, but we definitely know that we need some receiver help, and AB is not it.
AB, no. Let AB stay with Kanye. Him and Kanye, a perfect match. Let him stay with Kanye, doing Kanye things. We don't need that energy. We don't. I'd rather have Will Fuller. We need to bring Will Fuller in and see what condition he's in,
Yeah,
because he
Chase
can stretch the
Claypool.
defense. You know what I'm saying? He can stretch the defense. Because I'm telling you, when Lamb plays against Tampa Bay, they're going to be physical with him, and they're going to double him. So somebody else is going to have to step up.
All right, so I'm gonna ask Kevin this real quick, since he's not a Cowboys fan. Um, how do you how do you see this? How do you see the NFC East playing out in your opinion, Kevin?
I actually got the Eagles winning the division, and I think it's because of the schedule they have. I think it's weird because you remember when the Cowboys end up getting Parsons, when they traded back and they gave the Eagles that draft pick, which brought that wide receiver that they're gonna play against, because they felt like the Eagles was behind them, in a sense. They were more scared of the Giants being a team they had to deal with in that division. But now Eagles kind of overjumped them, and now they're pushing y'all guys for the division. I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be really, really close. The only issue with the Eagles is, can their offensive line stay healthy? I think that to me, that's the biggest issue. I think they got playmakers in every position on the team, at the running back position, the wide receiver, picking up I think it was Brown they got.
Yeah, Brown from Tennessee.
Tennessee. I think that was huge for them. He has to rejuvenate his career with Philadelphia. I think they got a really good coach. Again, I think that Jalen Hurts should not be on a 1-year hiatus. If he doesn't do well, they're gonna bring in another quarterback. I'm maybe because he's black is the reason why I'm having a problem with that. Because look at Carson Wentz was there, and they said to the dude, "Stop running," and he wouldn't stop running. That's part of my game. So his running got him out of there. He goes to the Colts, and he leaves the Colts. Now he's in Washington, where y'all gonna see him twice a year again. So there's 2 wins right there, because Carson Wentz is not that dude. But I think it's gonna be between the Dallas Cowboys and the Eagles. What I do see though with the Cowboys is, I think a lot of games that they're gonna be a lot of games they're gonna play from behind, and so Dak's kind of used to playing like that. And I think Tony Pollard is gonna be a big part of your offense. I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of pushes Zeke out the way, and gets more playing time. And again, the receiver core for the Cowboys are in question. They could have went out and drafted somebody. They could have went out and got a free agent. Like you said, they got the money, bring somebody in, and help the team out. To me, it's like they're just in a holding pattern right now. And even with the situation with Von Miller, he's like, I'd have came here if they gave me an extra $10 million, but they didn't give him the money. And Buffalo gave him all that cheese up there. But he said if he would have got $10 more million for the Cowboys, he'd have played there. So I got the Eagles right there with you guys. I still really think that the Cowboys do win the division, but I think the Eagles have an opportunity. The Giants are just participating right now. They just got to fill they're just filling the schedule out. Washington, I don't know what's going on there. Nick, every time I turn around, Nick is sending me a message. Somebody retired and they ain't even played yet. Then they coming back. Then they ain't coming back. That's a whole mess down there. I think he's probably going to be. I looked at Vegas. Vegas had McCarthy #1, Rodriguez like 4th or 5th, and coaches that's first to be fired this season coming up. And I don't really think it's his fault. Washington's they're in a turmoil with their owner. They need to do something about him. But it's the Eagles. It's the Eagles and the Cowboys. And the funny thing about it is nobody has won a division 2 years in a row. Since in a while. So that's the only thing I'm saying. I think if they're gonna keep that pattern, the Eagles might be that team. The Eagles have made adjustments to get better than they were last year. Again, you gotta look at their running back core. If they can stay healthy, they got 1-2 punch there that's really good. I'm really excited to see those guys play. And I think a lot of times people with the Cowboys, they hate them so much they don't want to give them respect. But I think that comes back and proves to everybody that he is a quarterback for the team. And hopefully Ezekiel Elliott, he will step up and be the running back that he needs to be. And a question with your offensive line is that there's an issue there too. But I think defensively, you guys are gonna be okay. I really do. I think with my boy Parson from the 717 area code, I think he's gonna do his thing down there again. We're really proud of him up here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. He putting us on the map. And to be a kid that always loved the Cowboys, you think about this. He got a chance to play for the high school that he wanted to play for. He got a chance to play for the college team he wanted to play for, and now he gets opportunity to play for the pro team that he cheered for every year as a kid. That right there is enough to make you go out and run through a brick wall. So I think he's going to do some wonderful things down there again this year. I know he's having some problems with his one hand, but I think that injury has followed him from college. And I remember Nikki had asked me about Parsons before, and I told her, I said, Nikki, I said, yo, he's a good kid. I said everything they're saying about him is not true. I said his character is not. He don't have a character issue at all. And I said to Nikki, I said it's funny how the media paints him as having a character issue because of the hazing that went on in Penn State. But you have the quarterback that's in New England right now, Mac Jones, if I'm not mistaken, got the DUI when he's at Alabama, had somebody else's ID, underage drinking, and he gets a half a game off. He don't play a half. But you're going to ask me about character issues with a kid that was hazing another kid on the football team because basically what happened was the kid wasn't holding his weight. And he went to him and confronted him. He's like, yo, man, you need to do what you need to do on the football field. And there probably was some other things that went on. There probably was some tussling, some other things going on. But again, I hate when our brothers of our color is attacked when nobody talks about what the other people do. They sweep that underneath the rug sometimes. But again, Dallas is going. I think Dallas should win the division. I think you're going to see a lot. Dak's going to play really good. I really think he's going to play good. But they just need to address that wide receiver position, and I don't know why they haven't did it. And I'm gonna say this to you guys: there's probably a wide receiver out there right now that's not on the team that they're looking at on another team. If he gets cut, he might come to Dallas. He might be the guy they may need. You know what I'm saying? They may go about the cheap way and get him. But it's weird because Jerry got the money, you know. And if you look at what the Rams have done, they threw money out the window and said, look, we're playing for right now. And if we can get you right now, we're gonna get you, we're gonna try to win a Super Bowl right now. You know, and I'm kind of surprised that Jerry hasn't kind of took that same stance as an owner with the money side of it. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to play for right now. You don't want to play for next year. I hate when you hear people talk about like the Giants, like they talk about Daniel Jones. Well, the quarterback from Alabama might be taking Daniel Jones' place next year. Okay, if that's the case, then y'all gonna figure out y'all gonna lose again because he got to know the system. He has to know the system. You know, and just getting back to something that K Boogie and Nikki was talking about with the system with players. I think some of the biggest issues is a player when your offense or your defensive coordinator or your whole coaching staff leaves, they come with a new coaching staff. And they may bring the same plays, but the terminologies is different. You know, and what I don't get or what I don't understand is go to the player and say, give me your best 10 plays from college that you had. Give me the best 10 plays you had last year. And let's bring them to the table and let's see if we can incorporate them into our offense. And use the same name or just change some part of the terminology because that to me, I think that's some of the issues that goes on in the NFL. Why quarterbacks can't get on the same music when you have two different offensive coordinators because the terminology kind of changes. You know, so I think that's an issue when you change offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, or even head coaches. You know, that's my
Yeah.
thought.
Well, I'm gonna be realistic on what I think about the schedule. I think that I think our schedule is top heavy.
Hmm.
So the beginning of the schedule is gonna be rough, and then I think that we'll pull it off towards the end of it's gonna be a dogfight. And everybody always calls us the NFC least, but in reality, it's one of the most competitive divisions out there. If you really look at it from just a division standpoint, um, uh, you know, we had two teams made to the playoffs last year. That's not an NFC least to me.
Man, that's
You know,
ESPN with that garbage. But go ahead,
right?
Foxy.
Yeah, so like I said, I think that we're gonna start off slow, and then I think that we're gonna build some momentum later on in the year, and that's the way our schedule is set up. But that's my thoughts. Nikki, I see you interacting with everybody.
Oh yeah, I was trying to, I always try to talk to the folks while y'all talking.
Yeah, superstar.
Um, I see. I just realized that John made it back, number one dedicator.
We got two of them on here. We got John and my boy from the group. Um,
That's a shame.
Keith Holler. Keith. Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me for the for our division, um I think it's gonna come down between us and the Eagles. Um the what they are, Commanders, Commodores, whoever. They got a lot going on. If I'm not mistaken, didn't they just fire their offensive
Yeah,
coordinator or defensive line or
Sam
whoever?
Mills' son.
So they have a lot going on. Players they drafted retiring and ain't even played a game. So I don't know what's all going on in that organization, but I know it's a lot. Giants, they on a total rebuild to me. They got a new coach this year, so that's gonna have to be a lot of gelling with that and getting used to the coach and what the coach like, what the coach is gonna stand for and not stand for. So that's kind of chaotic. I think Dallas and Philly is the only two kind of stable teams in the NFCs right now. I think it's gonna be a battle. Um, you know, f- as we say, Philly did make some great moves in the draft, and they made some great moves in pre and shit, I can't even think. Um, y'all know what
In
I'm
the
talking
off
about.
season. The off
Off
season.
season, and they made some good moves. But I think in the end, it's gonna come down to quarterback play. It's gonna come down to health. What team is the healthiest in the end, making the push on both sides of the ball? That's on offense and that's on defense. I think that's what it's going to come down to. But majorly, it's going to come down to quarterback play. What quarterback? Which quarterback is going to stand out and be the best at the end? Which quarterback is going to push their team over that hump? And I can't leave out coaching. Coaching is going to play a big role in this season. Play calling is going to play a big role in this season, especially down the stretch. Is this especially in the end when it's time to push their wild down. So I think it's gonna be tit for tat. I think it's gonna be a battle. I'm not ready to go on record and say Cowboys win the division just because I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm not ready to go on the record and say that. I need to see more. I need to see a lot more from the players and from the coaching staff before I'm willing to say what we're gonna do for as the division. For me, the first three games on our schedule is gonna tell us a lot about this team and the coaches.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to week one. Um, we say this all the time. Football season is the shortest time of the year, and that's college and pro. It seems like 17 games is not, well, 20 games now to win a Super Bowl. 20 games is not enough. That's not enough football. Um, so I'm just looking forward to football, but I definitely think that, like I said, I'm gonna be realistic. I could see us going 1-2 or 2-1 those first three games easily. I don't think we're going undefeated. I don't expect to go undefeated. Uh, but those first two or three games are gonna tell us a lot. It's gonna tell us a lot about this team, Are we gonna go into panic mode and make a trade mid-season like we did a few years ago when we got Cooper? I don't know, but I do know that on the years that we don't expect the Cowboys to do good, that's when they do a lot better than what we expect. So that's why I'm semi-optimistic about this season because every year that I get hyped about the team, they thoroughly disappoint me. On the years I'm saying, you know what, I'm just gonna wait and see. Though 2016 was a perfect year that I was saying, we ain't gonna do this, we ain't gonna do that, and then look, we went 13-3. So we'll see how it goes.
Hey, you just got to break down the season into 4 quarters. That's it. You just got to break it down into 4 quarters. And that's what I'm going to do. I've been doing it for years. Just break it down in 4 quarters. And hopefully the Cowboys will have the best record at the end of the year. That's why I'm not really putting any expectations on us right now. Not yet. Not yet. I'm going to try something different. I'm going to try something different this year. Like I said before, we just need to look at this as a process and don't put too high of expectations or too low. Just look at this whole thing as a process. I've been a Cowboy fan for a long time. Foxy, me and you are actually the same age, believe it or not. I've been a Cowboy fan for a very long time. So this is the first time that I'm going to look at certain things and look at it as a process. Like, you know what?
Well,
I'm not going to get upset.
let's answer this process right here.
We talk about the elephant in the room, Rush and Ben. I'll go on mute.
No. Greer, Will Greer, and more Will Greer, please.
Nikki. Well, let me let our guest go first, and then we're gonna let Nikki go because I'm pretty sure she has a lot to say. So, Kevin, we'll let you go first.
All right, so give me some intake on what she talking about. Rush. Nikki just said she went on mute. I laughed because I know how Nikki is.
So it's our backup quarterback situation.
Shit.
See, we got you.
Oh my God, man. Yeah. Yo, they gotta do something.
I don't know.
They gotta do something with that. That's not good at all. I don't even know what to say about that one. I really don't, because I don't know. I don't know what the Cowboys are doing. If they're just like, we're just going to participate this year, we're not really worried about winning a Super Bowl, winning a playoff game or nothing, because that needs to be addressed, because Dak, more likely, your starting quarterback doesn't play every game. So that situation where doesn't really make me. I don't have a warm and fuzzy there right there at all with that conversation is concerned. I mean, there's a bunch of other veteran quarterbacks out there that they should have looked at. I mean, just look at my man. I'm not saying y'all should have went and got Randolph, but he just got traded to the Jets, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he's really a good quarterback, but they need somebody. But I don't understand that situation at all, because again, most quarterbacks don't play 17 games, and you need to have somebody in a quarterback that's going to be reliable. And what I saw with those guys, it doesn't look good. I know preseason is preseason, but man, sometimes you just, again, man, look.
So we're gonna let oops, I'm sorry here. We'll let K Boogie go next, and then we'll let Nikki bring up the rear because I'm pretty sure she has a lot to say.
Nah, I done already told you Will Greer's going to take it. Will Greer's going to be the backup. He may have been injured the first game, but he's going to play this game. Will Greer, to me, is more suitable to be our backup rather than Ben and Mr. Rush. If I had to choose between those three, it's Will Grier for me. Not the rhyme, but I'm just saying, it's Will Grier for me. Because the Cowboys are not going to go out and sign RG3 or anybody else. They're not going to do it. So Will Grier to me is more suitable to be our backup than the other two. That's just my take.
Queen Nikki.
One word for me. Bullshit.
She's just fed up.
That's it.
Nick is
Bullshit.
full fed
And
up.
if I just had to sum it up, I might as well just sing R. Kelly song. I believe I can fly, and I'm good because that's all I could do at this point. It's ridiculous that we still in the same predicament year after year after year with not having a decent backup quarterback. With all the decent quarterback backups that we could have had, and we still probably could have, all because Jerry is so stuck on making a player fit and making a player be who they want them to be when clearly they are not that player. Um, Cooper won that game in Minnesota because of Cooper. Let's be clear. If you go back and you roll the tapes, Cooper Rush did nothing spectacular in that game to win that game. Cooper stepped up to help him to win that game in Minnesota. If Cooper Rush don't catch that touchdown, Cooper don't catch that touchdown, we easily lose that game in Minnesota. Ben DiNucci, he talked all that. I ain't liked him ever since he talked all that shit and went to Philly and got beat up when we played Philly. When he talked all that trash about how he was gonna go on the field and do this and do this and go on the field and do that, and as soon as he stepped on the field, he had a -4 yards. I, if I could have flew to Philly that night for him, I probably would have. I just think that it's time for them to stop trusting the process because their process is not working at all. It's too many capable quarterbacks out here that can be a decent backup quarterback. We haven't had a decent backup quarterback since 2016, and that's when Romo was the backup to that. We haven't had a decent backup quarterback since then. So I don't know what it's gonna take. I don't know what they plan on doing about this position. For some reason, Danucci is Mike McCarthy boy, and Rush is Jerry Jones boy. So it's like they fighting amongst each other on however. So I'm looking forward to seeing Grill this week if he plays. I'm looking forward to seeing him. I want to see what he bring to the table. I want to see if he could bring something different. They have him listed right now as the backup quarterback. Maybe they seen enough in the preseason game that they already got their mind made up. They're not gonna go with neither one of them. I don't know, but I know it's time for Dak to have somebody reliable behind him. And then sometimes I just think if you have a better, capable backup, it pushes your quarterback. It makes your quarterback step their game up. As long as he don't have nobody tapping over his shoulder, then we're gonna probably still have some of the small same issues that we have with Dak. He don't have anyone to push him. He don't have anyone to say, shit, I better do this, make this play. I better do this because he behind me and I know he can come in and he can do it. I might lose my job. Even though I'm the $40 million man and I'm the $40 million quarterback, I could easily lose my job to him. It's a loophole in my contract that they can get out of if he step in and play better than me. But he can be content because he ain't got nobody behind him that could come in and do anything. And that's just keeping it 100. And y'all know I love that. Y'all know I go to bats for that. I walk to your house and fight you behind that.
But
But
hold on,
facts are
Nick.
facts.
I forgot we did have Andy Dalton. He was a suitable backup. Only a backup though. He's a backup. But I don't think any backup could actually push that anyway. That needs a mentor. He needs somebody that's going to actually mentor him rather than push him. In my aspect, that's what I believe. I believe he needs a mentor rather than somebody to push him. Because all great quarterbacks had somebody who mentored them, and that I only had one mentor, and that was Mark Sanchez. It wasn't even Romo. It was Mark Sanchez who mentored him. It wasn't Romo. So I
And I'm
believe in. Go ahead.
I'm gonna add something else to that. When your coordinator used to be on a depth chart above you, you know, and you lost your job, the coordinator lost his job to Dak. To me, that wasn't a marriage made in heaven, and I'm just being 100%. You know, that was not a marriage made in heaven. I go back to what I said before in the beginning, earlier in the show, that we've become predictable. Our offense has become so predictable that defensive coordinators are going back to Kellen Moore's days at Boise State to scout our offensive, game plan for the day. That shows you that Kellen Moore he's doing the same shit that he did. 'Cause he called his own plays at Boise State, so he's doing the same shit that he did. What 7, 8, 9 years ago that he's doing right now. So I have no faith in our offensive coordinator. I have no faith in the head coach to make changes as far as offensive coordinator, and that's the reason why I feel like Kellen Moore did not get a job anywhere. I don't know why he was even considered to be a head coaching candidate, because at the beginning of the year they were talking about his creativity, and then by mid-season we was still running the same shit.
Fox, you know why? He got great referrals. That's why. They pull that corporate America crap. He got great referrals. That's why he got those interviews. You know what time it is.
Yeah, and Kelly, I hate to bring this group up because I said I wasn't gonna give them no type of advertisement, but that's one thing that I always go and tell them, that Dak sucks group.
Mm.
That you want to blame the quarterback for every little thing that goes on in the team, but the quarterback is only running the plays according to the game plan that was put in on Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on when you played your game. It's not like that they go out there on that Sunday and all of a sudden they come up with a new game plan and the quarterback says, "Nah, fuck it, I don't want to do this. I'm gonna do it my way." They are actually practicing and on the game plan that the OC and the wide receivers coach and tight ends coach and the O line coach, that they've come up with probably 2 weeks ahead of time. So I don't have faith in the offensive play calling on our team. I wish that we would, if Pollard is averaging 5 yards a carry and Zeke is averaging 4 yards a carry, hell, sometime I wish we come out and do like New England did last year and run the ball 52 times and throw it twice, if it's going to give us a win. Because what we're doing now is just not. It's we look good at the beginning of the year. We look good in the third and fourth quarter, but them first quarter play calling freaking sucks.
No creativity, like we always discuss. No creativity, and if you play against a top 10 defense, you know what's going to happen. Kellen Moore becomes really predictable. He doesn't make adjustments. He doesn't do anything. And that's the problem with Kellen Moore. He needs to actually make adjustments at suitable times during the game, and he doesn't do it. And that's why we always fail. That's why we failed against the 49ers. No adjustments being made.
Let me ask you guys a question. Does Zach have permission to check all plays?
I think he does now. I think he does. I was reading somewhere when Mike McCarthy said, well, we give Dak the autonomy to do what he needs to do. So I think this year they're going to do it. Last year I don't think so, but this year they said they're going to do it. So we're going to see.
And that's strange because I don't understand how you have, but this goes back where the offensive coordinator or the head coach don't trust the quarterback. They just have a quarterback out that can manage the game because they don't allow them check down plays. I don't understand that at all. You got to miss your starting quarterback, so you got to allow him to be himself in the pocket. And if he feel like a play is not going to work, he should be allowed to check it off and run something else. Because he had, even though they're watching the game, he has the flow of the game. That's like the quarterback that got drafted by the Tennessee Titans. They set him down because he ran too much.
Who, Malik Willis?
Yes, but that's what he does. I'm like, you saw what he did. You saw what he did in college, and he's gonna emulate that in the pros. But you set him down because he ran too much. I don't get it, man. I just don't get it. I think that you should allow your quarterback to be able to check down plays, and this is why I tell people all the time that I give so much respect to Jim Kelly, Joe Montana, because them guys could run the offense by themselves. They didn't need an offensive coordinator. They could do it by themselves. Now, today, these guys are force-fed everything, so they don't have to think, you know? And you think about this. This is why a lot of quarterbacks fail in the NFL, because they don't have to think, and they say, okay, this is your check down, and you make sure you go to him. If your number one check is not open, you go to check down right then and there. You know what I'm saying? And they do that. You can see it, and you can see it in their eyes. They do that. You know, so I don't get that, man. I think Dak's been around long enough that he should be able to check down plays. You know, that's just my personal opinion.
Well, I'm gonna answer Cooley Cool's
You
statement
saw
here.
that?
Yeah, he said everyone says no creativity, but if he calls it and it doesn't work, then whose fault is it? I see on 2 plays on 3rd and 3 and 4, and correct me if I'm wrong when I say this. We're either throwing a slant or we're doing I don't want to say draw, but it's maybe an off tackle. Not even off tackle. It was off guard to Zeke. Am I correct in saying that?
Predictable. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
He's too
It
predictable.
has nothing to do with creativity. It has more so to do to predictability. You know, I think that we've had some creative plays. You know, a couple of, especially when we had Wilson back there. You know, the wide receiver passes and things like that. Yeah, those things are creative. But when were we throwing those passes? When were we being creative? When we're up 2 or 3 touchdowns in the 4th quarter and the game was already out of hand.
Exactly. Against bad teams.
Yes, that's not the time to be creative. Being creative is, you know, I go back to that Pittsburgh game back in 2016 that we ended up winning. But being creative is when Mike Tomlin said, "You know what? This is going to be a high-scoring game. I'm not kicking no field goals. I'm going for 2 points every single time." That's being creative because it's against the norm. When Bill Belichick played against Buffalo in that snow game, and he ran the ball 50-something times and only threw it 3 or 4 times, and told his defense, you guys are gonna have to help us win this game because I don't plan on throwing the ball. That's being creative to me. That was a good game plan for the situations. Do we have an offensive coordinator? Do we have a head coach that's putting our team in a position to win instead of coming out there and smashing pumpkins or going and buying ointment and saying that as a motivation to get the team up? You know, that's where I want to see different. I want to see, when I come out there and I'm sitting there watching the game and I'm drinking a beer, I want to be wowed by some of the plays that we have called. You know, but that's just me.
Nah, you're not the only one. I want to see Zeke and Pollard on the field at the same time. Do something creative. Put
Yeah.
Pollard in the backfield and put Zeke in the slot. Do something creative. Let's see what the matchups are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You do certain things, run up more motion. Run more motion and see if they're in man zone. We need to run more motion. That's what we mean by being creative. It's not just calling all these sandlot plays. It's about knowing what the defense is calling, utilizing motion to our best of our ability to see what play we need to call. That's what creativity is all about.
Yep. Well, I hate to pull my old man
Shit.
timing on here. But it's past my bedtime, and once again we've had a great show.
God damn. I just gotta laugh about the bedtime thing. Oh man.
So before we let Kevin go, Kevin, let us let everybody know when your show is on and where they can listen to it and watch it at.
All right, my show's every Monday from 7 to 9. Starting football season, it goes back to 6 to 8 because I don't want y'all guys to miss the Monday night games for my show. I'm not that naive that I'd rather for you to watch football than listen to me anyway talk. But I'm on Monday nights pretty much most Monday nights from 7 to 9 or 6 to 8, and we talk about various things. We don't use the 4-letter language like these guys do here, but I had a lot of fun. I remember when Fox, I talked to Fox about doing a show. He's like, sure, I do a show. I mean, he was doing really good, you know what I'm saying? But the COVID thing came in and work got involved. And I told him, I said, yo, family first, take care of your family, do what you gotta do, leave this alone, because I'm doing this for fun. But you guys got a good thing going on. I'll be missing Nikki on Mondays. Her and Dana be going at it, but Nikki gives it to her, man. I swear to God, it ain't right when Nikki ain't there. I'm telling you, it just ain't right. Dana be falling asleep on the show and stuff. I'll be like, yo, I said, Dana, somebody's watching us, right? I said, we trying to get syndicated and you want to fall asleep. You know what I'm saying? So right now, I think got 7 shows right now that we're doing right now. And you guys, you don't sound that bad.
Well, if you could get us on after dark, we'd be more than happy to join your network.
Yeah, but you can't talk about night time either, though.
Yo, so if the door's always open for you to come back if you want to. Right now, basically what I'm doing is I'm just waiting on my acceptance letter for college to go back to school for the podcast situation.
Congrats.
I've been put in a good been put in a good situation. I spent 27 years in the military and it's starting to pay off for me money wise. So I'm in a great spot where I'm about to like I said, go back to school, quit my job, focus on the podcast, looking to get syndicated. Been looking at the FCC regulations and all that good stuff there. Just trying to do something that I'm passionate about, that I have fun about. I mean, because none of us ever was trained to do what we're doing. We just doing it. You know what I'm saying? That's the good part about it. And the thing about with sports is everybody has their own opinion. And you get your point across, but you don't try to you try to change people's opinions sometimes you can't. But it's a lot of fun that what I'm doing, man. I'm having a blast. It's so much fun, man. And I can't wait to go and give my 2-week notice, like, yo, guess what? I'm out. See y'all later. I am so excited about the situation that's about to come ahead of me. And again, Fox, if you want to come back, your door's always open. I got a couple of dudes in New Orleans. I'm trying to get them back as well. It's a lot of fun, man. I don't care what nobody say. It's fun. It's so much fun to do this, and it's a blast. It's just a blast. And when Nikki on and she just speaks the truth about life, man, and oh my God. Yo, and I tell you one thing about Nikki. I don't know if she ever shared it with you guys that. So when she had COVID, she said to me, she said, if it wasn't for the radio show, she said I would probably would have batty. She said I was really thinking that I was done. She said, but you guys kind of kept me around, surface and doing what we were doing with the show. At the time, we all were stuck in the house, so why not do some shows? So, again, man, I thank her for coming on, and I just hit her up one day because I knew you guys wasn't doing the show no more. I said, yo, would you mind coming on? And her and Dana go back and forth, and it's a lot of fun, man. I tell you, I watch you guys show all the time. I comment sometimes, um, but it's a lot of fun, and man, just keep enjoying yourself, doing what you want to do, and have fun with it. But again, if there's anybody out there that wants to do a show, be a pod, come on a podcast or create their own show, I'm willing to sit down and talk to them and let them do their thing, whatever their thing is. Um, I'm willing to sit down and help them and teach them and get them on the right track and have some fun with it. But I appreciate you asking me to come on, man. I really appreciate that. Later on, because I like your music, and we need to do something because my music I got is terrible.
Well, you could definitely thank Nikki for that. We all three of us, and the thing I would say is that we're a package deal. Not only us, but our faithful fans that come with us every week. So we're all a package deal. So if we come back if we come to the network, then you're going to have a extended family because we follow each other. So um, well, I thank you for getting us started. You know, and the situation has changed a little bit. We were with somebody, you were with somebody else. I don't know if you're still with them or not, but I know so that the situation is different. So we couldn't, and like you said, we're not that bad. But every now and then, as you see, we don't agree, and we all don't agree with each other. And then sometimes, one of us lets a word slip out here or there. And if I let a word slip out, then I'm very passionate about, what I'm saying. So, my final words is,
Oh,
I'm ready for football season. I can't wait for the real thing to come along. Um, and I do want to tell everybody, make sure that you live your life according to how you want to live your life, accomplish all your dreams and your goals, because tomorrow is not promised to any of us. So that's going to be my final say for the day.
mm.
Nikki.
As always, I thank you guys for trusting me, believing in me. Um, Kev, I met you through Sean, and um, I appreciate the love. You kept me lifted when I was down. You kept me lifted when I was going through, like you said, COVID. When I had COVID real bad, a lot of people didn't know that, but I trusted you guys enough to confide in you guys that I was in bad shape when I had COVID. It was is exactly what it was. I didn't think I was gonna make it. I didn't think I was gonna be still sitting here to even discuss football with everyone again. So for that, I'm grateful for. Um, Kev, I like coming on your show. I think it is. I have ADHD, so I forget, and then when I think about it, I be like, oh, I didn't get on the show, whatever. I love coming on the show to just to get with Dana, cause when he ain't sleep. He'll fall asleep in the middle of a conversation.
Damn.
But
Wow.
I couldn't do what I do if it wasn't for you all and for the fans and the people that tune in weekly, watch us, and join and help us to coast this show along. So I appreciate each and every one of you on here, and I appreciate each and every person that takes time out their day to listen, join in and be a part of us. And well, Sean want to rock and roll. If you want to roll and rock with you, I'm rolling and rocking as well. Um, so it is what it is. Just let us know what you need from us, and we here. But just give me a little time to get these couple of games out and my cursing out, because I'm about to say it. So just give me a little minute.
We're gonna have to give you some Hennessy. That's what we're gonna have to give her some Hennessy.
I don't drink
But one
brown.
thing,
I drink Sister Rock though.
one thing we got worried about. If she goes to a game on Sunday, she gonna be hoarse on Monday, so she probably ain't gonna say too much on my show. It's gonna be your show.
Oh,
You're right
that's
about
funny.
that.
That's funny.
Especially if we lose.
Oh,
right.
man.
All right, K Boogie, take us out, man.
Nah, just hey, everybody, thanks for joining the safe spot, the safe zone. This is a safe zone, so everybody can actually feel free to share their opinions. You know, we may not all agree, but we agree to disagree. And so we keep it civil. We keep it civil. We keep it funky. We keep it fun. That's what I love about this show. We keep it fun and we keep it civil. You know, and I'm thank Foxy, thank Nikki for inviting me to be a part of this great show, and I appreciate that. Thanks. And that's all I got for tonight. God bless everybody. I want everybody to live life, have fun, and be fruitful.
All right. Well, with that being said, we will call it a good night.
Get ready for the hottest podcast coming out of Dallas, Texas, with Sean Fox, K Boogie, and Cowboys Nikki. Stars talking Cowboys. Let's go.
Yo, here we go again, back up on the scene. Stars talking Cowboys, you know what I mean. The podcast repping everything with silver and blue. Keeping it real, that's what they do. Let me tell you about the crew. Sean Fox spitting facts, K Boogie's giving game, Nikki's got the stats, so of course she covers everything. It's showtime, so let's get to the biz, and that Stars talking Cowboys. Yeah, you know what time it is.
See y'all next week.
Peace.
Bye.